it's Sabrina, your singing seer. This is a very special EFT tutorial on self-esteem. That is, self-esteem. That's a loaded statement right there. When I was younger, I desperately looked for ways of creating self-esteem in me by going out and searching for it outside of myself. In other words, everything that I thought about me and felt about me was based on and depended on what I thought others felt about me and how I thought they saw me. The problem with that is that no matter how many times someone tells you you're amazing and wonderful and loved, which you are, unless it resonates as truth in your spirit and soul, you're not going to believe it. And like with anything else, it can become an addiction, and it can become a dangerous addiction because you're going to try to do things to impress or amaze, or it'll just never be enough. It will never be enough. So the one thing you have to understand about not having self-esteem or having, the issues that you might possibly be struggling with stem from your childhood, and it's just different for everyone. For some, it was not having a father figure. For some, it was not having a mother figure. Others might have had a father and mother figure that in a very dysfunctional and abusive household, you weren't given the confirmations by the parents that raised you that you are worthy and deserving of love and encouragement, and told how beautiful you were and that you could accomplish anything you wanted. It could have been that you observed your mom and your dad and the way they interacted with each other. Maybe you were the one that you were the peacemaker. Maybe you decided you were the one that was going to make everyone happy in the house. And then maybe you were the naughty one that couldn't do anything right anyway, like me, and just decided to become an example of extreme self-will run riot and creating extreme havoc in your own life, which a lot of people who struggle with low self-esteem often do. Self-esteem is something that is developed over time. For me, it was my experience that self-esteem was developed by doing self-esteemable acts. In other words, doing what I said I was going to do, suiting up and showing up, becoming a dependable person, and then ultimately building a very strong relationship with my higher power, God. Because once I established that connection and made the decision that I was going to build that relationship, it did grow. It grew, and I've had some very wonderful confirmations of love and understanding with my higher power, God. But it takes time, and you have to be patient with yourself. And the most important thing about building self-esteem is that you have to give yourself a chance. A lot of times, people self-sabotage when they don't have self-esteem. They might be very angry and sabotage their life in many forms, in many ways. They might constantly be in crisis, thinking that they just had a string of bad luck, when in reality it was due to a decision based on what you thought would be a good idea at the time. And maybe all of your intentions were good and were true, but for some reason it didn't pan out that way, and you ended up being very disappointed. The wonderful thing about self-esteem is that no matter what you do, no matter what mistake you make, when you finally build that self-esteem, you won't really be so concerned about it. You're not going to look at it. You'll no longer look at it like it's a form of failure, but rather you'll look at it as though it is an experience that you can learn from. What can I learn from this experience? Okay, so check out my next tutorial. It will be all about self-esteem, and we'll do the rounds of tapping. This was just a brief introduction on self-esteem and EFT. So the next video will be called Self Esteem EFT. So check it out. I hope this information helped you. I know it did help me at one time. And remember, you are just a beautiful spirit of God, made in His image and likeness, and anything that you've done and experienced up to this point was absolutely necessary to bring you to where you are right now, right here. So just ask yourself one question. What have I learned? What can I learn from this experience? See you in the next video.